Yo, what's up, Trinity23 back again with another video. Going to be talking about what's going on in the NBA. Basically what I'm going to be talking about is the teams that are in the playoffs right now, if they can contend or not. And I'm going to start off in the Western Conference. I'm going to start off the top 6 seeds. Then I'm going to go to the Eastern Conference top 6 seeds, and then I'm going to make another video talking about every team that's below, because there's teams in the Western Conference that can contend, but they are a lower seed, and then there are teams that are up top that can't really contend. So basically, I'm just talking about contenders or pretenders. So first off, it's gonna be 4 separate videos. I'm gonna be talking about top 6 Western Conference, top 6 East, the bottom of the West, and the bottom of the East. It's gonna be top 4. And then I think I'm gonna make another video talking about my awards halfway through the year. So first I'm going to be talking about the Denver Nuggets. So as you guys know, they traded for Thomas Bryant on trade deadline. Traded away Bones Island. I forgot exactly what they got. I don't have it in front of me. I forgot what they got, but they really traded Bones Island for nothing. They didn't really get much for him. They got Thomas Bryant from the Los Angeles Lakers, which I think it was a good pickup. Definitely a good pickup, but he requested a trade from the Los Angeles Lakers because he said he wanted more playing time. But how much playing time are you going to get behind Nikola Jokic? How much playing time are you going to get in the playoffs behind Nikola Jokic? I don't think you're gonna get 10, maybe 15 minutes of play time. That's it. You're gonna be able to average 3 points and 5 rebounds. I don't know. You ain't gonna be able to really do much in that 15 minutes. I mean, the NBA is a crazy place, so maybe he can, maybe he can't. But Jamal Murray. He's getting up. He's getting his groove back. He just had a 40-point game not too long ago. He's a good defender. Not a great defender, but he's a good defender. Michael Porter Jr. can't keep anyone in front of him. He can catch and shoot, but he can be inconsistent. Aaron Gordon has probably so far this year been their second best player, and KCP is their 3-and-D player. It's basically that team, and Thomas Bryant off the bench. But I mean, can they contend if Murray gets back to what he was the year he got injured, and if Michael Porter Jr. can get back to that year as well? Then possibly they got to stop being so inconsistent. They got to be way better defensively. They got 2 good defenders. They got 2 really. Okay, so they got Aaron Gordon, who can be an elite defender, KCP, who can be a great defender, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, who are good defenders, and Michael Porter Jr. is a bad defender. You can kind of hide him on. You can hide him on a Draymond, but even then, Draymond can somehow go and get you 25 points per game, or 20 to 25 points a game in one game, because he's getting guarded by Michael Porter Jr., who can't defend no one. And the inconsistency on the offensive side has been a struggle. Nikola Jokic has been the only bright spot. Obviously, Nikola Jokic is their 2-time MVP, possibly 3-time MVP, 3 in a row. He's going to 3-peat the MVP. Can't do it all alone in the playoffs. As we saw that last year. Michael Porter Jr. was out, Jamal Murray was out, and they lost in 5 against the eventual champions, the Golden State Warriors. Jokic didn't have the worst series, but he didn't have the best series. He was getting locked up by Draymond Green. And if they played the Golden State Warriors again this year, I don't know if they win, man. I don't know if they win, because it's a playoff series, and the Golden State Warriors are always going to show up in the playoffs. So I really don't know if they can even compete, because Klay Thompson's been looking amazing. I'm not going to talk about the Warriors too much right now, but because on the defensive side, Jokic has been really solid and really good. But when it comes to that pick and roll, we have seen he gets killed every time in the pick and roll. Can't stay in front of Steph Curry. Can't stay in front of Donovan Mitchell. Can't stay in front of James Harden on that pick, even on that pick and roll. He tries switching, boom, it's a lob to Rudy Gobert, because he cannot backpedal all the way back to defend that, or he can't get back in time. It's been a mess when Jokic gets put in the pick and roll. So can they contend? Yes, but they got to be consistent on offense, and they got to be consistent on defense. Jokic has to be able to play that pick and roll very smart. He doesn't have to be a great pick and roll defender, but he has to be smart with it. He has to be able to know when to double. He has to know when and how to defend the roll man or the pot man, whichever one it is. So can the Nuggets contend? I think they can. I really do think they can. Now I'm going to talk about number 2 seed. the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, do I think they can make the finals? Yes. Do I think they can beat the Celtics, the 76ers, the Bucks? Kind of iffy. Only bright spot on that team. They got a couple bright spots. They got John Morant, obviously, as you guys know, double machine, can sort to the basket, can get 15 assists, can get the 40-50 points per game. But where's that other man coming from? Where's that second scoring option? Desmond Bane, he can get you 20, but he can't really get his own basket. Jaren Jackson Jr. is Defensive Player of the Year candidate, possibly can win Defensive Player of the Year this year, but he's not giving you 20 points per game. He's not that second scoring option. Steven Adams is an amazing center for what he does, but he's not getting you the points. Dillon Brooks, as much as I don't like Dillon Brooks, he can be a good defender. He can be a great catch-and-shoot guy. He can create his own shot once, maybe twice a game with that ugly-looking jumper. But that's not a consistent second option. Let me think, because I think 2 years ago people were talking about possibly doing like a Desmond Bane for Jaylen Brown. If that happened, yes, the Memphis Grizzlies can contend. John Morant, Jaylen Brown, they probably would have had to throw Dillon Brooks in there. Jaren Jackson Jr. Whew, that big three would have been nasty. But can they make the finals? Yes. They're a terrible three-point shooting team. So they got Luke Kennard. But Luke Kennard's not, realistically, he's not going to play in the playoffs. Realistically, he will not be playing in the playoffs. And I think when it comes to playoff time, John Morant's not a bad three-point shooter. John Morant can hit that three in the playoffs. It's the regular season. I feel like he's more of like a Jimmy Butler type player. Not, okay. When it comes to the three ball, he can shoot them. Or what am I trying to say? He can shoot them, but doesn't necessarily want to. He doesn't want to shoot the ball. He doesn't want to shoot the three-point shot. He wants to get to the basket. He really does want to get to the basket. He wants to get everyone else involved. Desmond Bane is their best three-point shooter. Jaren Jackson Jr. can knock it down. Dillon Brooks every once in a while can knock it down. Tyus Jones is probably the best backup point guard in the league. Then you got Zaire Williams. You got Xavier Tillman. So you got John Conchar. But you got some nice people, but they're not shooting consistently this year. And the defense is, of course, defense is going to be good for the Memphis Grizzlies. It's that three-point shooting. It's that offense. It's that consistent second option, and that's something they do not have. So can they make the finals? Yes. Can they win it? I wouldn't say they could. Even if they went up against the Cavs, I don't think they can beat them, to be honest, because they man, that Cavs team could be contenders. But I'm not going to talk about the Eastern Conference. I'm going to talk about the Sacramento Kings. And now the bad thing is the Sacramento Kings couldn't get, not bounce, but they couldn't drop all the way to the play-in. I'm going to look up NBA Western Conference standings, just so I can have a good understanding of the standings. So yeah, Sacramento Kings 34-25. They can get bounced all the way. They can go to the play-in, bro. Phoenix Suns are right behind them with one game. The Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers are behind them by one game. The Dallas Mavericks they're about 3-4 games back. Pelicans, they're dropping, but it's crazy that the Sacramento Kings can still technically miss the playoffs. But the Sacramento Kings have been amazing. De'Aaron Fox has been amazing. That amazing game that them and the Clippers had last game, that was I didn't watch it to its entirety. I watched a little bit of the beginning of the game, and I watched pretty much the very end of it. It was a good game. And then I went back to watch the entire thing, and boy. That was probably the most consistent or most efficient game of all time. 59% from the field, like 57% from three. It was, man, that was such a good game. If that's a playoff series, that's gonna be a good series. But Sacramento Kings, they got De'Aaron Fox. Kevin Huerter's been a bright spot with the 3-point shooting. Terrence Davis has been a scorer. Domantas Sabonis has been an all-star. De'Aaron Fox has been their all-star. Harrison Barnes has been their key veteran, defense 3-and-D player pretty much. Davion Mitchell has been amazing. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been good. But yeah. Sacramento Kings, can they compete or can they contend? No. Can they compete? Yes, they are definitely a competitive team. They can definitely give a Phoenix Suns, a Los Angeles Clippers, a Denver Nuggets, a Memphis. They can give any of these teams a 7-game series and possibly pull it out. But do I think that they can win the championship? No. Next team, Phoenix Suns. Can they contend? Absolutely. Absolutely, especially with this Kevin Durant trade. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, T.J. Warren, DeAndre Ayton, Cam Payne, Terrence Ross now, Torrey Craig. Boy. Bismack Biyombo has been a bright spot off the bench. He was a really good player off the bench for them last year, but they fell short because they were a regular season team. But can the Phoenix Suns contend? Yes, strictly off Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, they can contend. Los Angeles Clippers, I feel the exact same way about them. They have a Russell Westbrook, they have Paul George, they have Kawhi Leonard, they have Marcus Morris, they have Zubac, they got Mason Plumlee, Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Terrence Mann, all off the bench. Nicholas Batum I didn't even name. Such a good, deep team. They have like a legit 11, 12 people that can be in a heavy rotation, get heavy minutes on pretty much any team in the NBA. Pretty much any team in the NBA. Robert Covington's not even really getting minutes right now. And he can get minutes on a playoff contending caliber team. But he's not, because they have a legit 12, 13 people that can legit play basketball. I don't know if I mentioned Mason Plumlee, but they do have Mason Plumlee who can give you 10, 8, and 5 on a regular basis. And then the Dallas Mavericks, they just got Kyrie Irving. They have Luka. They traded away their defense in Dorian Finney-Smith. They also traded Spencer Dinwiddie. But when you trade Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie for a Kyrie Irving, you lose a little bit of that defense, but you gain a lot of points. Spencer Dinwiddie was probably averaging like 14, 15 points per game. Kyrie Irving's averaging 27, 28 points per game. But that defense is going to be a big thing, because Dorian Finney-Smith was a 3-and-D player. He wasn't really shooting a 3 very well this year, but when it comes playoff time, when he gets those open looks, when he plays great defense, when they get that momentum, it will be top tier. But can the Dallas Mavericks contend? I mean, they were in the Western Conference Finals last year without Kyrie Irving. Yes, they lost Jalen Brunson. Yes, they lost Spencer Dinwiddie. Yes, they lost Dorian Finney-Smith. But you got Kyrie... You got Kyrie Irving. You got an all-star starter. You got an NBA champion. Come on now. You got an all-NBA caliber player. You got someone that can give you 50 to 60 points in a game 7. He has shown that he can hit a clutch shot. That first game that Luka and Kyrie played together, obviously there's going to be some misconceptions. Yes, Kyrie Irving's going to just throw the pass to Luka. Hey, you take the shot, you're Luka. And then Luka's going to be like, no, you're Kyrie Irving. You take the shot. Obviously, the first few games, when it's a close game, especially it's good to get it out during the regular season, it's good to figure out who's going to take the last shot. Because, I mean, besides them turning the ball over and them not knowing who's going to take that last shot, that was great defense by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards has stepped it up huge this year. But besides that point, the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm still on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Dallas Mavericks, I think, can contend. I think they can contend. With Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, JaVale McGee, who can be a really good player for them. But they also, I forgot to even mention, Christian Wood, Dwight Powell, who can be a decent little, a decent defender. Maxi Kleber. Come on, man. Maxi Kleber, I think that's how you say his name. Come on, man. Dallas Mavericks can definitely contend, but again, you never know with the NBA. But that's going to be it for this video. Tune in next video for the top 6 Eastern Conference. Can they contend or not? Peace.